I'm going to be running this campaign for the people, truly all the people, the top, the bottom, and everything in between.
Today is Monday, April 27th. This is Boundless Insights, and I'm Aviva Klompas. The news has been heavy lately. War in Gaza, war in Lebanon, war with Iran, fallen soldiers, more and more acts of violent antisemitism, stalled nuclear talks, rising prices, political fights. It has just been an intense stretch, and it feels like we could all use a break. So today, we're lightening things up. After all, we are a people who gave the world the comedy of Mel Brooks, Jerry Seinfeld, Sarah Silverman, Larry David, Alex Edelman, and Michael Rapaport. So today we're going to keep things light and maybe even help you crack a smile. I'm thrilled to welcome back to the show the one and only Michael Rapaport. He's an actor, comedian, sports fanatic, reality TV aficionado, and someone who has never been accused of holding back an opinion. Let's get into it. Michael Rapaport, welcome back to Boundless Insights.
Glad to be here, Aviva. How are you?
I am doing well. This is the 160th show that we are putting out. And who is responsible for this entire enterprise?
Well, I mean, it's not, I can't take responsibility.
I think you should take responsibility.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that the podcast is being listened to. And, I was also thinking that I think this is my fourth time on. Is it my fourth time or third time on?
Third doesn't sound like enough. Maybe fourth.
Maybe fourth or fifth. I don't know. I know people are scratching their head, digging to try to find out what the real Michael Rapaport is like. I know this is something that people like, what is he really like? If you really want to get a sense of what I'm genuinely like, for the most part, if you watch the combined episodes that I've done with Aviva, you'll get a sense of what I'm really like.
The real Michael Rapaport. But just so people do understand, you're the one who encouraged me, if not harassed me, to start a podcast. And I was like, I can't, time consuming. How will I? What will I?
And now you can't get off the train, right?
I'm stuck. I'm in. I love it so very much. It is the great joy. If you had told me that I would get to spend a couple times a week talking to these fascinating people and getting to pick their brain, I wouldn't have believed you.
Good. Well, I'm glad, and I'm glad that people are enjoying it, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it, because that's the most important thing. You got to enjoy.
Tapping the table to make my producer crazy. Perfect.
And shaking my ice. I got my iced coffee.
What is your go-to coffee drink?
First of all, I've never had a cup of hot coffee ever in my life.
For real?
Never. I've never had a cup of hot. I'm iced.
Why?
I have no interest in hot coffee, warm coffee. All I have
Middle of winter, you're drinking a cold drink?
Middle of winter, you'll see me walking down the street with a Trenti iced something from Starbucks. I'm a Starbucks person when I'm in the streets because of the Trenti. I love the size of the Trenti, even though sometimes I don't want an actual Trenti. I love shaking. It's kind of like a safety blanket. And I would say it's probably like an iced latte or an iced black extra ice. So it's something in that ballpark. But at home, my wife actually makes the best stuff.
Now, do you drink real milk or do you have a Jewish stomach?
Well, obviously, I have a Jewish stomach. Let's not bring all the Jews into this, because one thing that I am very, very
true,
very clear on about Jewish stomachs and that whole myth is Ashkenazi Jews, American Ashkenazi Jews. That's the stomach, the famous stomach. Because when you go to Israel, I don't think there's time or space for stomach issues. There's too many bigger fish to fry. My first couple of trips to Israel, I thought that I was going to be bonding with everybody about, this is not a conversation with Israelis. This is not a conversation with Jews in Israel. This is not like something they're dealing with.
Israel has the very best cheeses I've ever tasted in my life. And then I always have to remind myself, well, it is the birthplace of Jesus.
Yeah. Good one, Aviva. That's a good one. So, yeah, I mean, I'll play with real milk. I play with whatever. This is not what the people came in to hear about.
Okay. You're right.
But coffee talk is good. Coffee talk is good.
Tell me about Passover. How was your Passover? What'd you do?
We had a very simple, small Seder at home. And then I actually went and I performed at two Pesach programs. One was in Palm Beach. Pesach programs, there has to be a documentary made about these, or like a White Lotus kind of TV show. Nothing happened with me, but I know things happened. And if you never experienced or been to one, I've never been to them for the whole trip, but it's where families take over resorts. Last year I was at one in Mexico. This year I was one in Palm Beach. I was also at one in Tampa, and they kosherize the place, and it's just they have line dancing and prayers and comedians and magicians, and it's kids, and it's chaos and just food. It's incredibly Jewish, and I just feel like there is a show or a movie or a documentary about it, because it's just a fascinating intense, fun, very passionate, experience to be around. So I was at that, and I was with my mom, and then I came back to New York, and but I was also, even before that, I had been traveling, doing shows, and I am so done with traveling right now. When that TSA, whatever the heck was going on, I don't even know what was happening at this point.
The partial shutdown.
Partial shutdown. Maybe it was a strike. Maybe it wasn't a strike.
You and I were both traveling to different places in Texas.
Yeah.
You were heading to Houston, which was bad, and I was heading to Austin. And we were talking about how we'd seen on the news these lines that were hours and hours and hours. And thankfully, neither of us actually experienced that, but the fear was real.
No, I experienced it in Houston.
You got expedited.
But only not because I'm a world famous actor. I got expedited only because I walked into the Houston airport, and there's a smaller airport out of Houston, so I had double booked myself on a flight. But I walked into the Houston airport, it was like, I think it was 5 a.m, and which is, when you're flying locally, I usually get to the airport an hour in advance because I got TSA pre, I don't have check-in luggage, I got to the airport 2 hours before, so it was 5 a.m, and I walked into this zoo, and I said to the woman, I said, "Hey, how you doing? Is there TSA pre?" She says, "Ha, it's not open. The line's over there." And the line was going towards an escalator, down an escalator, and I said to the guy, I said, "What happens when you go down the escalator?" He said, "Then you get on a tram and then you come back." And I said, "Nope, absolutely not. I'm going to go to the other airport." So I started to walk out, and then this woman recognized me because I am a world famous actor. And she said, "I'll put you online. It's going to be about an hour and a half." So I said, fine. I had enough time to do that. And as I got on that line, then a TSA agent came over to me who didn't know that I was a world famous actor and personality, and just said, "Sir, would you like to work with the dogs?" Because they had the bomb dogs there. And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "I'll put you at the front of the line." I said, "Absolutely, whatever you want. I'll pick up the dog's crap, whatever you need me to do." But they just want they have people walk through with the bags to make sure the dogs are alert or something. She didn't explain. She said, "But I'll put you at the front."
Wait, hold on a minute. This woman's saying to you, "I'm going to smuggle some contraband into your bag. You go walk up to the front of the line. See if you can get through."
I was prepared to risk it all. As long as I could get through the line. If I had to smuggle, fine. If I was doing a good deed for the
you
dogs.
Didn't think that maybe you were being used as a mule?
I thought that for a second, but like I said, at 5 a.m.
Better than the line.
It's like, listen, one way or another, I'm gonna get through this line. I might wind up getting through the line and going to jail, but this is just not happening. And I wind up getting through very quickly, simply because of that, and simply because of coincidence, because I'm a good citizen and I'm a dog lover. But I was asking people while I was at the front, I said, "Yo, how long did you wait?" 3.5 hours. 2 hours and 45 minutes. When I was sitting on the plane, 4, I was like, yo, I just had enough. So I'm just sick of the airports. I'm sick of the planes, the delays.
I have to ask you an important question. This is what the people need to know. How is that mayoral campaign going?
The campaign for mayor of New York City 2029 is actually going. And I want to emphasize that I'm not screwing around. I know people are like, are you really doing this? I'm not screwing around. I am in a downloading and learning phase. I'm learning a lot about what it takes to run for mayor, what it takes to actually be mayor. I'm speaking to some people that have great experience, and they're sharing it with me. And I will tell you this, The campaign is moving forward, and I'm very, very clear on this. And you could quote me and you could put this out there. My campaign for mayor is not going to be pretty. It is going to be flawed. And I know that the only way to take down Zoran the moron is to approach this campaign and this election for mayor 2029 with a street fight mentality. You can't out bullshit this guy. You can't out cute this guy. You can't out politically chit chat and talk with this guy. I will say, watching him speak, I think he's completely full of shit. But I say that with all due respect. He is a mover, shaker, manipulator, a smiler. He takes words, takes problems, spins problems, just like a great politician. And the funny thing is his supporters like, we wanted something new. Well, you got the same old thing 2.0. This guy never answers a question straight. He ducks, he moves, he grooves and all that stuff. And he's probably, and I'm not a political expert, but he's probably the greatest spinner of bullshit, AKA politician, because there's always a negative connotation on politicians. He is probably the greatest one that I've seen, better than Bill Clinton, better than Trump, better than Barack Obama. Like, I am really serious about this. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's some other politician. I am forewarning anybody that is going to run for mayor of New York City. Do not think you're going to go in there and win by being nice, cute, and outwitting, outsmarting, and outsmiling this guy. The only way to beat this guy, based on everything that's going on right now, and 4 years is a long time, is to turn this into a down and dirty dog fight, street fight mentality, must-watch TV, and winning by bringing the fight to him. Zoran the moron is definitely, more radical with his approach to things and his communism and his socialism masked as democratic socialism. You can't be a halfway socialist. There's no such thing as a halfway socialist. You could Google it. You could Google halfway socialist. It's not on Google. Google has everything.
And have you come up with a campaign slogan yet?
It's still early, so I don't have a specific, locked and loaded slogan.
We can crowdsource this. Please write to the show and give us your ideas for Mike's campaign slogan, podcast@boundlessisrael.org. What about theme music? Do you have theme music?
Oh, yeah, the theme music's going to be just all late 80s, early 90s hip hop. That's it. The clean versions, of course. But yeah, it's gonna be, like Wu-Tang, Gangstar, EPMD. I know none of these things are resonating with you. It's gonna be MOP. It's gonna be very, very, very true New York. But also, I'll bring all the other New York sounds into it also. But the base of the theme music will all be, hardcore hip hop.
I am kind of hoping that you write an original.
That ain't a bad idea. That's a strong idea. I also want to emphasize that I'm taking ideas from everybody. So I know that there's a lot of smarty pants people listening to your podcast. The more the merrier. If you got a cousin that's got a good idea, let me have it. Like, I'm going to be running this campaign for the people, truly all the people, the top, the bottom, and everything in between. We're not going to demonize people's success like this guy. And one of the questions that I'm gonna, ask first and foremost is, where's Rama? Where's your wife? Because after you won the election, she was all up at the fashion shows, all up at the photo shoots. Every single place you turn, Rama was right there.
She's busy deleting her entire internet history right now.
Where is Rama? And all that doesn't apply. Yes, it does. Yes, it does apply. We want to know where your wife is. And do we need to do a wellness check on her? Where is your wife? Is she okay? And he's like, she's an artist. He keeps talking about his artist like it's Pablo Picasso. Your wife ain't Picasso, man. And did you see some of her art? This is not, Chagall, okay? This is garbage. Oh, she's an artist. Come on, man. She's not Chopin. This is not Stevie Wonder. This is like he's literally acting like it's Vincent Van Gogh, like he's married to Vincent. Your wife ain't Vinnie Van Gogh. She got both her ears on. She not risking it all for that art.
You should be teaching art history at NYU while we wait for the mayoral campaign to really take off. Have you appointed anybody to your campaign team? Do you have any ideas for the administration? Any roles filled?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any roles filled yet. I have some people that are qualified and experienced, and that's serious. I'm not playing around with that. But like I said, it's early, and I'm still downloading and gathering all of the information on what I know. One thing, becoming mayor of New York is not something that I take lightly, and I'm not doing it to for I don't know politicians. I have no relations with any other politicians. I'm not doing it to become a political, lifelong careerist. I am doing it solely for the love and respect of the people and the city of New York City. And a lot of it, will be my cabinet, and a lot of it will be the people around me. And I know that at the end of the day, as challenging and as complicated as that it ain't rocket science. I know that I will do a good job, and I'll make mistakes, and I'll acknowledge them. One thing in this political landscape, I feel like people, you can only pull the wool over their face so many times. If you make a mistake or you aren't able to get something done that you tried to get done, I think you should acknowledge it instead of acting like, this big pile of crap isn't there. So that's going to be my approach for better or for worse. They call this a slobber knocker.
What is that?
It's just a messy fight, a slobber knocker.
Is that a real thing, or did you make that up?
No, I didn't make that up. It's like, like a slobber knocker. Like, it was a slobber knocker to get to
ask you what it is. You tell me the same word.
Ask Chat what a slobber knocker is.
What have you been asking ChatGPT lately?
What have I been asking ChatGPT lately? My go-to online resource for anything Jewish related is Chabad.org. But I sometimes will ask ChatGPT questions about, Torah portions and stuff like that. And ChatGPT, I feel like, as much as, with all due respect to ChatGPT, sometimes we're not hitting it on the nail. And I'm like, wait a second, we're a little delayed. I say that with all due respect to ChatGPT, but I ask about that. I ask about, a lot of times the thing that I go to the most for ChatGPT is like, I sent a very, very important email that I needed to feel and sound like Michael Rapaport without saying fuck, shit, or motherfucker.
We made it 20 minutes before I had to put the explicit rating on this episode. That's a record for us.
Okay, beep it. You bleep that shit out, Aviva. Okay, so chat was really helping me form a very, very important email. It was important to me, but I wanted it to be clear and articulate and make sense. So a lot of times the thing that I get out of chat is really just sort of getting my thoughts in a concise way, but also in my voice, in my specific voice. And me and Chat we've haggled with that. Because sometimes I'm like, that don't sound like me, Chat. We've been working together now a few months. You've heard me rant, you've heard me rave. I've given you some of my writings. I've given you some of the, the diatribes. I've made custom. I want you to understand who you're dealing with. Don't spruce it up too much.
Spruce it down.
Yeah, like ain't is not a flawed, like you could put ain't.
I'm genuinely curious. Will it write ain't for you?
Yeah, it'll write.
Oh,
You got. I told Chat, listen, man, there's other places I could take my business elsewhere.
Yeah.
Claude, they're hitting me
Gemini.
up.
Yeah.
There's places to go, Chat. So you either get it right and stop being so soft. You know who this is. Like I said, this isn't trying to sound like Michael Rapaport. You're actually dealing with Michael Rapaport, Chat.
What have you been really into lately? Like, what are you watching? What's your go-to food? How are you spending your time when you're not working?
Well, it's NBA playoff time. Of course, reality TV, all things news, listening and watching your podcast, along with some other important podcasts out there that I like, to get information. And, whenever there's a daily, Trump press conference, I'm like, oh, you got to buckle your seatbelt up for that.
That's true. The Truth Social posts. Thank you for asking. I've been into Swiss Highland cows. That's in my Instagram feed a lot lately, and IKEA hacks.
What are you asking Chat for lately?
Travel tips is a big go-to for me.
In regards to what?
So here's the thing about ChatGPT for me. I feel profoundly grateful that I worked as a speechwriter and wrote a couple books before this took over, because I get to say, look, I'm credentialed. I can actually write. And there's a couple things about the AI tools that concern me. The first is the positive affirmation. None of us should be told constantly, that's a really good point. You're smart. Well done. Way to go. I don't really care for that. I like a little honesty. That's why I appreciate you so much. And
no, but stop kissing ass, chat.
That's what I was saying in a more polite way. And the second of it is I don't want to cede the ability to think and write. So I'm trying very hard, even though it would sometimes be a lot quicker to have it do it, to keep that work to myself. So I ask it for how do I patch a hole in a wall?
Does it help with stuff like that?
Tell me about Swiss Highland cows. Of course, absolutely.
Okay.
And it thanks me for my interest, and then I get some stuff. But yeah.
See, for me, Aviva, one of the things that I struggle with still, and I think I probably mentioned this on this podcast before, and I'm sure this is going to also get me a lot of votes in my election for mayor of New York City, because I think a lot of people are going to be like, I don't like to admit it. I'm not going to admit it as freely and openly as mayoral candidate Michael Rapaport, but I do relate. One of the things that I deal with still to this day is using to, there, and there.
Yes. English is a confusing language.
Well, this is me tweeting to, there, and there. It's rolling the dice.
Roll the dice. It's a crap shot.
Whatever it's going to be. And then I find out if I've used them correctly by the comments, when you asshole, it's to, T-O-O, or you asshole, it's to, or it's there. And I'm like, I don't even try to fuss.
And then there's apostrophes. Then you get to punctuation, and then we're in trouble.
Well, come on. Yeah, I mean, you're going to advanced stuff there. You're talking about apostrophes and punctuations. We haven't even figured out the
we
twos
can't get T-O versus T-W-O.
It's literally like, screw it. Okay, I'll do 2 O's for this one.
I'll throw one in for free. See what happens.
But the best way to do it is just do the number 2. So, because I want to save characters. But the there and the there.
What you do. You just give it the 2 so you don't have to. It's going to give you positive affirmation either way.
Oh, yeah. But you're right, though. Chat. Listen, I don't need you to tell me how great. If I was so great, I wouldn't be using you. If I was so smart and that was such a great idea, I wouldn't be asking you about everything. Single thing in my life.
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap. Last question. Are you ready?
Go on.
What's one good piece of advice that you have been given or that you just want to share with the world?
The only piece of advice that I will share with the world is I encourage everybody to be their biggest fan and their biggest critic. If you're able to differentiate and separate and acknowledge, unlike chat, when you've done good, not good, when you've behaved good, not behaved good, done good work, I think that's the most imperative thing to be. And like I said, it could be, personally or professionally, but that's something that I try to, give myself, the credit and the acknowledge when I screwed up. And I think that, that's my little piece of advice.
Excellent advice. I'm a huge fan of you. Thank you for coming back to the show, and thank you for helping us lighten things up.
Of course, Vives. Anytime.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Boundless Insights. Whether you've been with us from the start or are just discovering our show, we're so glad you're here. If today's conversation sparked a question, challenged your thinking, or made you shake your head, I want to hear from you. Email me at podcast@boundlessisrael.org. Your feedback gives us ideas for new topics and new guests. And if you believe these conversations matter, there are 3 ways to support the show. First, hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. Second, help us spread the word. Share an episode with friends and family, post about it, or mention it in a group chat. It really does make a difference. And third, consider supporting our work. Boundless is a nonprofit, and we rely on donors to keep the show going. You can make a gift at boundlessisrael.org/donate. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep the conversation going.